Hey guys, welcome to today's 1/6 Galaxies video. Today we are taking a look at a slightly older figure in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface 6 scale figure by Sideshow Collectibles. This is the final figure that I picked up on the 20% off pop culture sale. So this guy normally is 400 Australian, which Sideshow items are generally priced quite high for whatever reason in Australia. So he came down to 320, which we'll see. For the most part, I think I'm pretty happy with the discounted price. Definitely, I don't think it's worth 400, but we'll get to that. And some characters do sell out straight away. Like Ghostface was dearer than that, and he sold out. So it is what it is. We've seen the Clint Eastwood figures now, 440, I think it was, but I paid 370 for mine. So again, Sideshow's prices are starting to creep up there, and they've been up there for a while. Anyway, let's take a look at this guy. He is an older figure, so I am going to try and do this as quick as possible. Alright, so we do have the front of the box, which shows the image of the figure. The top does say Leatherface, telling you that it is Leatherface that you are getting. Scrolling down, we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 6 scale. The side of the box is going to allow that image of the chainsaw to continue. Again, telling you that it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and that this is from Sideshow. Back of the box is going to have a different image of the figure, this time in a slightly different pose. Reminding us that it's from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We've got the film that distributed there. We've got the fact that this is R-rated. We have Sideshow.com. And then, again, we have that image continuing from the front. When we lift up the box, it is the standard style clamshell that we know. And like their other releases, Sideshow does include the little wrap around the thing. You can untape it if you wish. Tells us that it's Leatherface, and it's done in like a chainsaw kind of a pattern, which is quite nice. So yeah, we've got that. Alrighty. So in terms of accessories, this guy doesn't really come with a lot, but he does have 8 hands, which is nice. 2 for gripping the chainsaw, which I've already put on the figure. Then we get a right and left fist, which we can see are sculpted and painted quite nicely. We do get right and right and left relaxed hands, which again have that nice sculpted veiny look on the inside. We get some nice detail as well. And then we get these right and left. I guess they're kind of reaching / attack hands, maybe. Again, detailing on the inside is quite nice. A little bit of a blemish there, which is a shame, but I mean, you're not going to see it anyway. So that does it for his hands. As I said, there are 2 already on the, there are 2 on the figure. I've swapped out. The fists are the ones that are on the figure. When you open him, I've put the thing there. We also get a knife, which again, I mean, paint probably could be a little better, but I mean, it's small. It looks the part, I suppose. It's nothing spectacular like the wooden finishes that we get from Hot Toys or anything like that, but it does the job. And then we get a hammer, which again is just a black handle, and then the metallic wash on top, which looks fine. It's got a bit of weathering to it. Super simple, but does the job. We also do get an apron. It does come in a little bag, and it appears to be a kind of fabric. So we do have pockets there, which I believe function. Let me double check that. Yes. So you can put the knife and the hammer in those pockets if you so choose. We have the wrap, which of course you'll have to remove the head sculpt, and then you can see that it ties around at the back. It's got a nice pattern. You can see that it is discolored to make it look like it's dirty, and that it's been around for a very long time, which is quite nice. We do get an alternative sculpt. If you would like to use this look, bit of damage on a bit of a wound on the top there. The wig for the most part looks fine. You can see that it is a mask, and that there is a face under the mask. It's quite cool. I think this is going to be a bit hard to see, but you can see the eyes in there too. So for the most part, it probably it probably looks quite decent. This is quite a solid heavy piece as well for a head sculpt. We do of course get a display stand. It does say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on it, and then we have nothing on the bottom. So for once, Sideshow actually put it on the top. Why can't they do this all the time? Because Soju, with the Clean Eastwood one, all the information's on the bottom, and I really dislike that. And of course, we get the chainsaw, which we're going to see in a moment, as I've got the figure holding it. So for the chainsaw, you can see that it is, for the most part, detailed quite nicely. You can see that the blades do have a metallic look to them, and that there is a bit of a blood look. We'll take it out of his hand in just a little bit, and take a look at it towards the end as well. So we can see the default sculpt that is on the figure. Again, I don't know how well it's going to come across, but there are eyes in there. The paint works, the hair looks alright. Now one thing I will say is recently Sideshow's bodies have not had that, I've not had a loose Sideshow body in forever. So this guy's going to have no troubles holding the chainsaw. Another thing I'll say is all this is padded. So from there till about there. So yeah, the padding probably, oh no, it goes all the way down his legs too. So yeah, he's very heavily padded. On the front, so I wouldn't recommend taking the costume off or anything, unless of course you wanted all that padding to go everywhere. The apron is simply designed to go over the costume, which is fine. There is a second version of this guy being released soon, with an alternative look, but I was happy with this version. Alright, so we can see that he has a suit, which is tailored quite nicely. We can see that he has a shirt with some stains on it, and then we do get a tie. So all fabric. As I said, just the bottom section is going to have some heavy padding there. The pockets don't operate, but they ever hardly do. We get a bracelet there coming down to some dress pants. and then just some sculpted dress shoes there. So from the side, again, we can see that there is a face under the mask, of course not removable. I'm going down to the suit. So it is a very basic costume, which is fine, because I mean it was quite an old movie. It is pretty much the way it was in the film. It's probably going to be hard to show up, but there is some slight discoloration on the suit as well, probably to give it its wear and the fact that he's been hanging out where he's been hanging out for a while. See the bracelet. Again, the side profile where you can see that it is a mask, obviously. And then as I said, you do see a lot of that detail on the chainsaw as well. So in terms, I think $330, as I said, I got this on 20% through. I got this 20% off. $320 is probably a fairly decent price for him. As I said, he is going to be holding that chainsaw quite well. And it is fairly nicely detailed and weathered. The body, I've got no issues with the body. It's just, like I said, it's very heavily padded, so you're not going to be able to do too much with it, but you are going to be able to get him to raise the chainsaw if you so choose. I've just got him in a more basic pose, which is probably how I'm going to have him. I'll put the apron on a bit later too. So yeah, Sideshow is starting to get on the expensive side for a lot of their things. I generally do wait until there's a 20% off to pick up a Sideshow figure, just because those prices are so high. I was planning on picking up the ghost face when it dropped in price, but it just sold out. So like I said, sometimes the higher price doesn't bother people. But we'll see. Anyway, guys, this has been a pretty quick look at the Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from Sideshow. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.